presentation is over malaria.
So malaria is present in 103 different countries, and 99% of the cases are in sub-Saharan Africa. So malaria is also called Plasmodium, which is the parasite in mosquitoes, which then infect us when they bite us.
Malaria is a communicable disease and is transmitted through the female Anopheles mosquitoes into humans, and is easy to transmit in places like Africa, where these mosquitoes are most common, and through blood contamination. The vectors are the malaria parasites in the mosquitoes, and the hosts are mosquitoes and humans.
So some of the symptoms of malaria are, it's basically a fast-acting fever, which means that the starting symptoms are fever, chills, headaches, and then as time goes on, the disease worsens to become more, the symptoms become more like anemia, and you can get respiratory issues, and then which leads to death.
Okay, here's a graph. These are just historical death rates of malaria. So as you can see, Africa has the highest amount of death rates, as well as Southeast Asia and Eastern Mediterranean and the Western Pacific. And here's the data. You can't really see it that well, but you can see that Europe has no deaths, and then America also has very few deaths. And then here's a map of it. Malaria originated in Africa in 1880, so as you can see, most of our deaths are from Africa, and then also Southeast Asia have a few deaths as well.
So the mortality rate for malaria has gone down by 28%, and the infection rate has gone down 18%. But as you can see, in the 1930s, it was very prevalent due to many cases of malaria going untreated and just the prolonging of the infection. But as of 2018, the mortality and the infection rates have decreased. But as we can see, the solid black line with the circles is sub-Saharan Africa, and we can see that it's still very prevalent in sub-Saharan Africa. And through this chart, we can also see that in Europe, in North America, the Caribbean, Central and South America from the 1900s to 1997, we can see that the total number of deaths from malaria have decreased drastically. But in Asia, China, and the Western Pacific from 1900 to 1997, the death rate for malaria has decreased, and the number of deaths from malaria have decreased, but it's still very prevalent with 65,000 deaths still from malaria.
Okay, here is malaria deaths by region. So you can see sub-Saharan Africa have a high amount of death rates, as well as South Asia and Southeast Asia, and North Africa and the Middle East also have a lot of deaths. And then here's just the same table as before, just to show like similar things. And then here's a map of deaths by region. So we can see it's in South America, Central America, Africa, and then Southeast Asia.
So the people who are infected by malaria are children under the age of 5, who accounted for 67% of the deaths in 2017, and then also people with HIV and AIDS, people with weak immune systems who are traveling, and then also pregnant women.
And just locationally, risks are people that live in traveled areas where malaria is most common, like Africa, Asia, Haiti, Dominican Republic, and then Papua New Guinea especially.
And so the reason why in Africa there are so many reports of malaria is due to the climate in Africa is able to support more mosquitoes, and the mosquitoes' lifespan is longer in Africa, and the mosquitoes tend to bite humans than animals, which 90% of mosquitoes tend to bite humans than animals. And yeah.
Okay, so here's the main prevention. So the main prevention technique is following the acronym ABCD. A stands for awareness of risk, B stands for bite prevention, C stands for checking for prevention tablets, and then D stands for diagnosis.
So another prevention to not get malaria is to put these sleeping nets over your bed. And so these sleeping nets are covered in insecticide, so they prevent mosquitoes from biting you while you sleep. And then another prevention is to spray insecticide in your home once or twice a year. And so to treat malaria, there is a anti-malarial dose called sulfadoxine pyrimethamine, and you can give this to children under the age of 5 or pregnant women, and these can be routine doses, and there's only one vaccine for malaria called RTSS.
Okay, so our organization would like to focus on funding research trips to areas like Africa where malaria is most common, and to just go into those breeding sites of malaria mosquitoes and to just research them and go into the communities that live there and educate the people that live there, and hopefully create better methods of prevention like vaccines and stuff like that are more affordable to people that actually need it, because most people that live in these areas that have high malaria deaths aren't able to get the proper treatment. So we like to make it more affordable and cheaper for people that can actually get it, and more accessible. And we think this would work because the goal of many international organizations is not to completely just like demolish malaria, it's actually just to reduce it to the point where it's no longer a public concern. Malaria kills.
I can see my